problem would be if you're going to run out, you're not going to be able to get it. That's the only problem. It's expensive, but it is a very good fuel source, very efficient, but when it runs out, you're out. And so, yeah, it's again, when it comes to redundancies, having another supply and having another means, I have propane, got gas, I got these things, but when the propane runs out, you're going to be out. If you have it, it's great, very efficient. Next one I'm going to talk about is diesel. I like diesel. I like diesel because it gives you, diesel engines give you many more options than any other fuel, any other type of engine. The diesel engines, what can they run on? They run on, obviously, number 2 diesel, and I might miss a few things here, but they run on waste vegetable oil, they run on straight vegetable oil. You can take waste motor oil and run a diesel engine off of it. You can run, are there a lot of cars out there with automatic transmissions? Automatic transmission fluid, you can run straight in a diesel engine. And so these are things to think about. Think about in a raw situation, like, man, I have no fuel, I got an engine, everything works, but I got no fuel. You have a lot of fuel around you, you have more fuel than you realize. Just put that, write that down, think about that. And there's a lot of ways to take these oils that have been around, and you don't have to filter them. You can use a centrifuge. You can take almost any used waste motor oil, which nobody's going to want, by the way. The government's not going to come and say, I heard you have 5,000 gallons of diesel, Scott, and we want it. We're going to commandeer it. We're going to take it right now. When they see your waste motor oil, 5,000 gallons, are they going to take it? No. But I can take all that oil and run through a centrifuge and turn it back into brand new oil because it takes all the heavy particulates out. And I can run it straight, and I can use it obviously for maintenance. I can use it in the engine to run straight. So things to think about. You can run a lot of things, and people say, oh, you're going to ruin your injectors. You're going to ruin this. As long as the viscosity is low on your vegetable, let's talk vegetable oil. If your viscosity is low and your flash point is low, you do that by heating it. All you need to do is get creative with some preheaters, inline heaters. Heat that. I think if I heat water up, it'll run on my diesel. And I'm joking, but I mean, I got a diesel. I've run just about anything in that old diesel, 2-cylinder diesel, and it just runs. So water won't run in it, but not quite. But it does run better on a rainy day. Why is that? Because it's got hydrogen in it. And that little bit of hydrogen does, you'll see your diesel engines will run better on a rainy, high humidity day because the hydrogen increases the combustion. Waste vegetable oil, straight vegetable oil, transmission oil, biodiesel, and the neat thing about diesel, you can mix any combination of any of these things I've mentioned. And so you can cut it when it's cold, you need more diesel, you can cut it, there's a lot of things. Start it up on diesel just enough to get it started, get it warm, and start bringing that straight vegetable oil in it. And then before you shut it back down, you can get fancy, you can do it all, I do it all manually. I just start up on diesel, then switch over to vegetable oil as soon as that engine starts. And I've run 5-6 days straight, never shut it off, running on McDonald's. Running on vegetable oil. So it's a great source. And when it comes to filtering these things, I know some of you guys are making your own fuel. You can either use the filtering socks. When you want to get it down to 100, you start. A buddy of mine, he makes the fuel. He starts at 100 microns, comes down to 25, then down to 5, and that works. It works great. But the centrifuge is hard to beat. They don't call you like centrifuge. What in the world are you talking about? It's thousands of dollars, about $150. You can get a centrifuge that will take out any of the particulate that will damage your engines, and you can run. So just, again, I'm trying to give you ideas to look for various fuels that you might have right around you. Okay, I'm going to move on from, I think that's enough on diesel. Biomass. Biomass, basically wood, fancy names, wood gas, synthesis gas, producer gas. Basically it is hydrogen and carbon monoxide. Hydrogen and carbon monoxide runs in an internal combustion engine without a problem. I've been running it in my truck, I've been running it in my generator, and I have a lot of fun doing that. Proving people wrong. They just say, that doesn't work. What is that moonshine you're making in the back of the truck? No, I'm really not. It's wood gas. And wood's great, it's renewable. I've been able to pretty much off my property just work off the deadfall. I don't have to cut any new trees down. And where I live in Pickens County, there's plenty of wood. I don't even have to cut the wood on my property because there's wood everywhere. Our county burns a perpetual flame of all the biomass that is brought there to the transfer station every day. And so I looked around and said, what can I do? I want to come up with one fuel source that would make me sustainable, that would allow our retreat to go on forever. And I said, wood for me was it. Now it might be different. You might be in a place where wind is your thing. Wind is horrible where I live. Wind charts say, no, you're throwing away your money. But for me, it's biomass, it's wood. And so I cook on wood. I heat my house with wood, I heat my water with wood, I dry my food with wood, I can with wood. All my canning from our vegetables is done on a wood gasification stove. I drive on wood, I make I can make all the electricity, 25 kilowatts at a time, I want on wood. That's kind of crazy. I never thought I could get to that, but it's possible. I just want to share that with you, that you can do that. You know, FEMA, Dave talked about FEMA, the government says to do this. You know, FEMA also has a gasification plan that you can just go to the FEMA site and they have a gasifier plan in there that you can put on a tractor and run a tractor off of wood or biomass or hay. It will actually run an old gas tractor will run off of that. And the government's had that out there, and a lot of people don't realize that. So 3 pounds of wood, I didn't have my wood chunk with me. 3 pounds of wood is equal to 1,000 watts. 3 pounds of wood is equal to a kilowatt of electrical energy. And that's a lot. You know, that's a lot. 1,000 watt solar panel costs a lot of money. 3 pounds of wood, I got wood everywhere. The key with that is dry wood. 10 to 15%. 15% is good on the wood. And again, wood, store the wood. Some of you read Patriots. They had 3, 4, 5 years of wood. That's what you need to do, is put the stuff back. Put the wood back, not just food and water. You don't want to be out running. You definitely don't want the signature of a chainsaw going on when you use those. Use that now. Get the wood prepared. But like I said, I priced it out, $150,000. I'm able to do for $8,000 what would cost $150,000 to do. And you can scale that down. You can run lawnmowers. You can run any gas internal combustion engine off of wood. And if we have time, we'll fire the one up outside. I don't know if we're going to have time to do that. Disadvantages. It takes a little while to start up. I had some guys come over and wanted to see it. It was been raining for 5 days. It took me 7 minutes to flare it off and to get it running. So you just can't jump in your wood truck and head down to the store. It takes 7 minutes to get it warm enough where you're making good gas. If you're saying, what's he talking? Networking. There's guys in there. I've talked to several machinists today, welders that are more than. I see you out there measuring, looking at how to make that thing, and you're going back and you're going to get in your shop tonight and start making cyclones and gasifier. You're like, network. So you need somebody in your group that's good with welding and machining, and they can make the gasifier. There's no doubt about it. Disadvantage, one of the dangers of this process is carbon monoxide. I usually carry around my carbon monoxide detector. If I play around with it a lot, I'm like, whoa, carbon monoxide is obviously poison. It's being burned up in the engine. By the way, you don't have to change your engine at all. There's no modifications to the engine other than building a carburetor, and that's very simple. You can see the one you look at under the hood on that truck. But you don't have to change the timing, you don't have to change spark plugs. You can always tweak them to make it a little bit better, but you can just take your engines the way they are. Think of all we're talking propane generators, natural gas generators, trucks, cars, and you can convert them and run them off of synthesis gas or wood gas. Okay, energy. Again, wood. How many have wood cook stoves? Anybody cooking on wood? Anybody? Am I the only one? All right, we got another. Okay. Wood cook stoves, man. Anybody? I grew up with wood cook stoves. My grandfather collected them. I love wood cook stoves. Just a great thing to have as and you can buy cheap ones. We can always get wood. Okay? We can always get wood. Everybody's we're propane and natural gas. We can always get wood. And so I can, consider that. I've been cooking on a wood cook stove forever. And, like I said, I don't have a wood. I got some gasifier stoves out on the table. But I started this about 2 years ago with a wood gas, just to understand the process. And with a wood gasification stove, you'll understand the process. And people get sick in the world from bad water. They get sick from cooking over an open flame. If we get in a bad situation, people are going to start fires and they're going to cook over it. And they're not going to think, and they're going to wonder why they're all sick. You know, it's women and children in the world that are sick. The guys are outside, the women and children are inside cooking the meals, and they're all sick. They have horrible respiratory diseases because they're cooking over an open flame. If we have to go back to that level of, you know, third world type living, it's just something to plan ahead for. If you use a gasification stove, or you're getting a wood stove, you get that gas out of it. Because carbon monoxide, you don't smell it, you don't see it, and it will make you very, very sick. So something to think about there. And again, when it comes to energy, lower your amperage loads. Are you doing that? My kids and I went through every appliance. I don't know if I have that slide. No, it's not there. Just going through and the easiest way to save money is to lower the electrical loads in your house. That's the money, the best money spent. And then you don't have to buy a big elaborate generator to be able to do that. So just go through and figure out what all your appliances. Anybody know what a kilowatt meter is? You just plug it in the wall and then plug your appliance in there, and it tells you how much. That's how you figure out how much energy you need. And we saved $50 a month by just going through and using that little meter. And again, some of these things you can do as a prepper save a lot of money. We put an outside wood boiler in, and we have a large house because we're planning on a lot of people coming if there's a difficult situation. Well, in doing that, we need to heat this large house. We have lowered our electric bill on a very large house to right around $100 a month, and that's it. All of our water, all of our heat. We cook in the thing. There's a lot. You need to think about lowering your loads. And that's, again, we're trying to take care of 5-6 families. So again, this is not just for us. So all right. How much land? You say, man, I don't have that kind of property. How can I do this? They say 10 acres of land. I know some of you came up and talked to me and said that you're looking for property. They say 10 acres of wooded land will, if managed properly, will last you indefinitely, just from managing that property. And so maybe you can't afford it yourself, but some of you are working together. We're selling a property, you're going in on another piece of property. Make sure that you consider wood as your source of energy. People say, oh, we don't have that much wood, you're going to clear cut. Just get in a plane. You see how much biomass we have in our country. I mean, there's just plenty of it. It's a renewable resource. All right, next source. This is a source that I messed up when I bought my property. If I had to do it over again, I would have bought another piece of property that had the ability to do this. To do micro hydro. And this is limited. I just wanted to share it. And that's just making electricity from water. Our country used to do about 30% more than what we do now. And it's just a great way to make power much more efficient, 10 times more efficient than solar, because you're running 24/7. So if you're in a situation where you can install a little turbine, whether to charge batteries or make power, whether the Pelton wheels or the cross-flow turbines, it's phenomenal. People forget about these things. Our country, probably 30, 40 years ago, there were a lot of these turbines in different rivers making a lot of power. People selling that power back and making a nice little income. So I messed up. I had a property that I would have bought, but we ended up where we are. We got a lot of wood, so we're going with wood. Okay, next one. We're going to do a little chemistry here. No, just kidding. Make a still. Make yourself a still. You can legally make a still, make alcohol, if you're making alcohol for fuel. Okay, so it's legal. You do have to let the ATF, ETF, whatever they are, let them know that you're doing that. But you can make your own fuel. You can make methanol. Methanol today, typically for Indy cars and kart racers, is made from petroleum. But it used to be called what? Wood alcohol. And you can make wood alcohol. Internal combustion engines run just fine on wood alcohol. Got to make a little bit of adjustments to the carburetor. Most gas engines are 12-to-1. Methanol and ethanol, you're running a 9-to-1 mixture on. But you can make your own fuel. This is something I want to do. I want to, grow corn, turn it into alcohol, and not drink it. Though, and then having an alcohol. Let me just say, my she's the chemist in the family. It's important for medical reasons too. Is to have, whether it's medical or disinfectant, but also a great bartering thing is to have alcohol. So home distillation is something to consider. I just have one more, and then I think I'm good on time. Am I good on time? Okay. Another one. It didn't show up. Oh. Anyway,
slide that got chunked out of there.
Could you fire that thing back up?